Hi everybody, it's Dr. Eric Balkavage. We're back for another edition of Thyroid Thursday. Today I want to talk about cruciferous vegetables and hypothyroidism. It's not unusual that I'll have a patient come into my practice who's got hypothyroidism and they are not eating cruciferous vegetables. They've read something on the internet that has led them to believe that they shouldn't be eating cruciferous vegetables because it inhibits iodine absorption of at the thyroid gland. And there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I want to let you know that not only should you potentially or possibly be eating cruciferous vegetables, you should definitely be eating cruciferous vegetables. There's very little research, matter of fact, there's no human research that shows that cruciferous vegetables inhibit thyroid hormone production or inhibit iodine absorption by the thyroid gland in humans. There was one study done on rats, but there's nothing been shown that shows that iodine absorption in humans is inhibited by eating cruciferous vegetables. So you should definitely be eating your cruciferous vegetables. Not only are they loaded with nutrients that you need for optimal function, cruciferous vegetables, and especially broccoli and broccoli sprouts, are loaded with something called sulforaphane, which is extremely important and extremely effective in stimulating and improving so many different systems in the body. So let's talk about this a little bit. Should you eat cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, kale, bok choy, and Brussels sprouts? You definitely should. Now, I agree, I didn't like a lot of those things when I was a kid, and some of those things you may not like, but definitely you can find something in this family that you like, and hopefully at least broccoli you like, because broccoli sprouts, as we're going to talk about, are probably one of the premier greens that you can eat when it comes to health and overall function in the body. The big concern is over something called isothiocyanates, and so the cruciferous family of vegetables have higher levels of these isothiocyanates, and it was thought at one point that they actually inhibit iodine absorption. I would say the only time that you should possibly be concerned about eating cruciferous vegetables is if you know that you have a severe iodine deficiency. But if you're in the US, iodine deficiency is probably not the cause of your hypothyroidism. Matter of fact, if you're in the US, the primary cause of your hypothyroidism is probably autoimmunity, and that may stem from chronic stress, whether it's physical, chemical, emotional, or microbial. Those are the biggest concerns, and maybe a lack of cruciferous vegetables may actually be part of the culprit, not part of the cause. So one of my favorite components in the types of isothiocyanates is a product called sulforaphane. I call it the Big Daddy because it does so much to help our health and well-being. It has a lot of impact on improving our health and physiology. One of the major influences it has is on something called your NRF2 pathway. And so this NRF2 pathway really influences about 200 different genes and enzymes in the body that support things like detoxification, immune system health, the anti-inflammatory system. It supports liver and bile function. It supports antimicrobial function, anti-aging, anti-cancer. NRF2 is so important in the system, and one of the biggest upregulars of NRF2 is sulforaphane, which is found in your cruciferous vegetables. Now, how do you get more of these things into your body? Which ones are the most important to eat? Well, I love broccoli, but even more, I'm loving broccoli sprouts. Now, why is that? Well, broccoli, in the cruciferous family, broccoli has the highest levels of sulforaphane, and the two products that help make sulforaphane. And so when you eat broccoli or broccoli sprouts, there's two products in there. One is called glucoraphanin, and then there's an enzyme called myrosinase, which actually converts the glucoraphanin into sulforaphane. So when you start chomping on the vegetable, those two products come together and you get sulforaphane. Sulforaphane in the body pushes this NRF2 pathway. And so if you eat broccoli, and lots of broccoli, you get more sulforaphane. But I don't want you just to eat broccoli, because cooked broccoli has the least amount of sulforaphane. Raw broccoli has a little bit more than that, but broccoli sprouts have about 100 times more sulforaphane than raw broccoli. So your best bet is to consume more broccoli sprouts. Now, the seed has even a little bit more than the sprouts. Unfortunately, the seeds are a little bitter tasting, and if you try and heat them up and cook them to make them a little bit nutty, you actually denature the sulforaphane. You break that down so you don't get as much. So your best bet is broccoli sprouts. Now, there's a number of supplements on the market that claim to have broccoli products in them, or broccoli sprout powder or broccoli extract. I think the best way to get the sulforaphane that you want for your body is just to eat broccoli sprouts. It's cheaper. You can grow them at home. All you need is a couple mason jars. You get some broccoli seeds. You put a little filter on the top of your mason jar, and you can start growing broccoli sprouts within a matter of days, okay? And within a few days to a couple weeks, you've got jars, mason jars full of broccoli sprouts. And that is cheaper than buying some type of extract or some type of supplement that you're not even totally certain how much sulforaphane is in that product, or whether it even has sulforaphane at all, okay? And what they're finding is some of these supplement products that say they're broccoli sprout extracts are actually extracts of some of these other things, alfalfa, and while they may be okay, they don't have the sulforaphane load that broccoli sprouts are gonna do. So eat broccoli sprouts. How much broccoli sprouts should you eat per day? I think if you have a large sized mason jar and you ate about 1/3 to 1/2 of a jar of those broccoli sprouts every day, you are doing an amazing job of getting sulforaphane into the system and stimulating this NRF2 pathway and doing so many good things for your body. There's tons of research on sulforaphane, glucoraphanin, and the impact that it has on the NRF2 pathway. So what can you do with those broccoli sprouts? You can eat them right out of the jar. You can throw them on your salad. You can use them as a garnish on other foods. You could throw them in your smoothie. I don't care how you get them in, but if you want a cheap or inexpensive way to improve your health and well-being, support so many systems in your body, and improve your hypothyroid condition, you probably want to consider not avoiding cruciferous vegetables, but eating more of them. And the number one thing to eat more of is broccoli sprouts, and grow them at home. It'll save you a ton of cash. Hopefully this Thyroid Thursday tip has helped. Look forward to the next one, another Thyroid Thursday tip next week. Take care.